Yo guys, Ollie Tatty, and today I have realised I don't need my headphones in, so I've taken them off. This is a video I'm making. I'm recording this on Monday night, and I don't know when it's going out, but the day before this goes out, my Wembley vlog will have went out on Saturday. I went to Wembley to see Borough do what they do, quite frankly. It's to no one's surprise. Yeah, so go watch the vlog if you haven't. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through the members of the Borough squad and seeing what we'd do with them. Because quite frankly, I think we need to do things with a lot of them. Number one, Sonny Dieng, who is actually number one. Quite frankly, I think if he is still in the club come the start of next season, my gaster will be absolutely flabbered. Yeah, he's been wanting to. He had two failed moves in the January window. He had a bust up with Carrick apparently, and quite literally hasn't played since then. So yeah, I don't know what's happened with him. I imagine his contract will be terminated probably if there's no buyer found for him. But yeah, he was a goalkeeper that played for us. Solbrin is the big talking point after Saturday. Some would argue the man who cost us promotion to the Premier League, the man who lost us the game at Wembley. Obviously, that could be down to a number of people or a group of people, group of occurrences, but yeah. In the stadium in Wembley, Wembley. How sure is this smart water sponsored by the Premier League? Anyway, Premier League, nice. That's where, but it won't be next season. Thanks, all. Yeah, at Wembley it was 32 degrees. It was quite warm. And there's a free water station there, which was class. I didn't go to the bar. I didn't spend anything in Wembley. But I was very thirsty. And towards the end of the game, in the 92nd minute, a whole player went down with an injury, and I thought, now's my chance. I can go get some water, because he'll be down for a while. He'll want to milk it. He'll want to get a full time. He'll be down for a while. So I rushed down the stairs with my cup, and as soon as I get to the water fountain, I hear a sigh, oh, and I'm like, I shouldn't have left. I shouldn't have left. What am I doing? Go back to your seat now. I didn't get any water. Run back up the stairs. Sit down in my seat. And as I sit down in my seat, I think a Bloomy was taken off. It was the Japanese fella. Puts in the cross. Solbrin palms it right into Ollie McBurney's feet. And I stand right back up again, swear quite a lot, and walk out the stadium towards the coach. And it was quite a depressing 6-hour coach journey back, I'll tell you that much. But yeah. I don't know, man. I started to write this in the notes app because I wasn't sure whether I was going to make this a video or like a written piece. But I'm making it a video, so I had a bit written in my notes app and I've forgotten it quite frankly. So that's good. Let me just find it. I watched the second leg against Southampton in the pub with my mates who don't watch football, and I said to them before the game, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper Solbrin, he'll make 4 or 5 class saves to keep us in the game, but then amongst that, at one point in the game, he'll drop one absolute clanger. What did he do in the 116th minute against Southampton? He let in a cross from 30 yards out. He just didn't bother diving or whatever. And he had made 4 or 5 very good saves in that game. And then at Wembley, made 4 or 5 very good saves, tipped a couple over the crossbar. And then the 95th minute, palms across very weakly into the feet of Ollie McBurney. And I shouldn't have said anything about that, but yeah. I said, yeah, he won't want to go on loan at this stage in his career, because I think he's too old for that. I'm not sure how old he is. I mean, he'll probably tell us here, like. No. I signed a new contract in December. I didn't even know about that. That's nice. I said He won't want to be going on loan again at this stage in his career. I would maybe be fine with him as a backup keeper, as he has shown he's somewhat capable. Like I said, makes 4 or 5 good saves in a game, but not good enough to be starting 46 games for a promotion hopeful team. Like I said, he will drop one clanger in amongst those 4 or 5 very good saves. And again, I don't think he would be happy with being a backup either. So personally, I think the best outcome is to sell him. Although the most Borough outcome I can see happening is we sell or loan him to a bottom half championship club, and he's fantastic for them, and they beat us twice in the regular season and get playoffs instead of us. That is the most Borough thing that could happen. So I've predicted that now, and it's going to happen. We've got 2 of the goalkeepers who are Joel Wildsmith and John McLaughlin. What did I write about them? Who's asked? Wildsmith is apparently the worst keeper West Brom fans have ever seen, but he's not actually played for us. So until he does, I can't imagine he's too much worse than Tom Glover as a backup goalkeeper, so I'm fine with Joel Wildsmith. John McLaughlin is a third choice. He's a Hun bastard, but he's being a Hun bastard over there, it's alright. Callum Britton. I only wrote stuff about 3 more players. Callum Britton, I said pre-lobotomy Callum Britton was one of the best fullbacks in the league. Obviously I'm keeping him, but I think he needs a good backup. Needs good competition to help him reach his peak again. Matt Target said actually not our player to be dealing with, he's on loan from Newcastle. I'm not sure. Is his contract up in the summer? If it is, I think I would have him back on like a 2-year contract, because I think he's 30 or 31, so he's getting older and his ability will be declining. Maybe he might do a Luke Ayling, and I think he did play centre back for a little bit this season, but he's 5'11", so maybe not too much. But yeah, I'd have him back for like another 2 years, I think. The last bit I wrote was about Alex Bangura. He's too injury prone, and quite frankly, in his 2 cameos this season, he didn't impress me. Although away at Swansea was probably the funniest performance ever. His first game back from injury, scores a belter, gives away a penalty, and injures himself again all in the first half an hour, I think. So that's just the funniest performance ever. But yeah, I just don't think he's good enough. I wouldn't keep him. Next up, Alfie Jones was class until he got injured. Then we never saw him again. So quite frankly, he's staying. I think he's good centre back. Dale Fry is another big one. Actually, out of contract this summer. And quite frankly, I don't see, unless he wants to explore his options, I don't see a world where, from the club perspective at least, we wouldn't give him a contract. Even if we went up, to play in the Premier League for your boyhood club is something he deserves. He's been such a great servant for the club all these years. And has an injury or 2 in him, but he doesn't have a mistake in him. I think that's what sets him apart from other, I was going to say centre-backs, but just defenders in general. Like Luke Ayling has a mistake in him. I think Melander has a bit of a mistake in him, maybe not as much. Dale Fry doesn't. The only thing... No, that wasn't... It was... I think it was Swansea last year. It might have been Bristol City. Or Preston, something where I think Luke Ayling and Aidan Morris clashed heads and gave the ball away in our box. But Dale Fry just doesn't have that mistake in him. He just does get injured once or twice a season. And quite frankly, I'm fine with that. Because I think being local does come into play with this. He's been such a good servant of the club, and quite frankly, I think we can afford to miss him for like 8 games. Maybe not 8 games, but we can afford to lose him, because when he's here, he's such a good defender. I think he's underrated, one of the best in the division. His aerial ability is just, I was going to say world class. Speaking a bit too over the top there, we're playing in the Championship, but his aerial ability is so good. Calm on the ball, good passing range, good defender. Keeping him. Next up, we've got Bill. She signed to a new contract a couple of months ago, I think. It's not as if we're going to sell him. No one's going to buy him. And we're not going to loan him out. I think we would have done if we went up, but like, it's obviously like a Championship team. But even if you don't, I personally still think he's a good player and will provide useful. I think next season is sort of like will be the one where we sort of phase him out a bit because he'll be 35, 6 next season. Served us well this season, but I do think once we give Kim Hellberg a full transfer window and once we've given that the ability to play whatever tactics formation he wants, now that he has the players he wants, I think we will start to phase Aylan out a bit. But he's under a new contract, so I feel like while he's here, might as well. He's good enough, and we can't. Even if you're not a fan of him, there's not really much we can do anything with him. We're not just going to terminate the contract we've just given him. No one's going to buy him. No one's going to loan him in. So welcome, Luke. I was going to say welcome, Luke, in. Happy you're staying, I guess. Finn Monroe, he's an interesting one because Ian Holloway were fuming that we bought him. Is it Ian Holloway? Is that his name? I think so. He were fuming that Chelsea was just letting him go. And quite frankly, he played a couple of times. He was fine. I remember did he score a hat-trick or 2 free kicks in a Premier League 2 game? So there's obviously something there, but quite frankly, he's young and just hasn't had the opportunity this season. I would send him on loan to League One. That's what I do. Not going to tell him. Maybe he's a backup left back, but quite frankly, to be honest, I'd rather play Monroe than Bangura because actually Monroe's still young, he's raw. Not entirely sure what he's capable of yet, but I think send him on loan to like a mid to top League One team would be the move for Finn Monroe next year. Sammy Silvera is... No. Well, he's another player who's out of contract this summer, and I got on Twitter, did a poll of what you would do with every Borough player, like sell, loan, keep, offer the players out of contract, renew or release, and Sam Silvera was 50-50 whether they'd release or renew him. Personally, I would renew him. It was obviously before the season, probably would have got rid of him. He failed to impress on loan at Portsmouth and wherever else he was. I can't remember where else he was last season. He did go on loan at 2 clubs last year, didn't he? I can't remember. But yeah, he didn't really impress. But then obviously came back under Rob Edwards in pre-season as a left wing back, and to be honest, impressed. He was very good. And since Hellberg's come in, he has played more of his obviously natural winger attacker sort of position, and hasn't really featured too much since his injury, which was in January, I believe, late December maybe, because I remember hearing about it around the Fulham game in the FA Cup. But he just hasn't really got a chance since that injury, I think. And I would keep him. I think it could be very valuable. He's proven he's capable, which is, I think, what he needed to do this season. And I would keep him, personally. Or to talk about Bangura. George Edmondson, you could also pin on him the reason we didn't get promoted, because against Bristol City at home, he decided to unnecessarily head the ball out of the play in the 96th minute, which gave Bristol City a corner, which they scored from to equalise, which obviously cost us 2 points. And I think that's his only game into this calendar year. Which obviously goes to show Hellberg doesn't trust him. I don't trust him. He's a bomb scare. And he's also a deformed UK supporter, so he can get to fuck for all I care. Darragh Lenihan, I think we need to be ruthless this year. He's had a torrid time with injuries. I think he's out of contract as well this summer. And as a club, obviously it's our duty, speaking like I work at the club, but as it's Middlesbrough's duty to care for him and look after him while he's injured. But I just don't think even if he does come back from injury, he will be a player we can rely upon or need. I'll be interested to see where he goes, maybe like a lower championship team or League One maybe, but he's served us well, and I'd hope to think we served him well while he's injured, but I just can't see a world where he's useful for us when coming back from injury. Adelson Malanda is sort of like, obviously there's players we keep, players we sell because we want rid of them because they're bad, players we'd loan for their development, and then there's a category there which is like players we'd sell for a profit or to make money, and players we'd sell because maybe they'd want to play somewhere else or move on to bigger things. Obviously Hackney is going, but he'd fit into the category of players we'd sell for money, and because they want to move on to bigger things. And quite frankly, I think Malanda could be. Obviously, I think we'd keep him because he's only been here 6 months, and he's shown a very good defender. His form has dipped since he made his debut in January. That first month or two of Malanda was unreal, one of the best centre backs in the division. Lately, he's been good. He's been good. His passing can be a mixed bag sometimes. I think he can make some unreal through passes, and then just some absolute horror shows. He likes to step forward. He's honestly playing more of CDM recently, and obviously plays on the left of a back three recently. But I think he's very good, and I think he could be have some interest in him this summer. So if the money's there, who knows? But I think we will keep him, and I hope we do keep him because I think he's a good player. On to the midfielders. Hayden Hackney, he's going. The question is who to and how much for. If I take a look at the Premier League table, who is interested in him? Who? $19 Fortnite card. Who wants it? So I haven't seen anything about Arsenal. I've seen Manchester United are interested in him. Haven't seen Aston Villa or Liverpool. I've seen Bournemouth. I've seen Sunderland. I've seen Brighton. Haven't seen Brentford or Chelsea. Or Fulham, I think. Have seen Newcastle. Have seen Everton. Have seen Leeds. Have seen Palace. Have seen Forest. Have seen Tottenham. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Half of the Premier League. Coventry as well. Coventry. So that's more than half of the Premier League I've seen are interested in him. And quite frankly, I'd like him to go to somewhere. I think Man United might be just too big of a step up for him at the minute. I don't get me wrong, I think he's capable, but I just don't think yet. I think like a Brighton or a Crystal Palace or something like that. I think Brighton would be spot on. I hope he doesn't go to Sunderland Leeds or Newcastle. This might sound bad, but part of me kind of wants him to go to Sunderland because then he's playing European football, and I think he deserves that. But again, I think that might be a little bit too much of a step up for him. I think, to be fair, he would be playing it with Brighton as well and Bournemouth. I think Brighton should be the move for him. He's playing Conference League football, which is obviously the worst of the 3 European competitions, which obviously is better for him because then he's playing against worse opponents and can prove himself. I hope he goes to Brighton. And the next question is, how much money? Obviously, Middlesbrough rejected 20 million for him in the summer. Or in January? No, it was in the summer, last summer. Rejected 20 million off Ipswich for him. And quite frankly, I think he's shown he's worth more than that this season. Wolves are selling. Is it João Gomez or was he the one that tied up contracts? Either João Gomez or Andre. I quoted it on my second account. It's either Andre Gomez or Andre or João Gomez. Sorry, Andre Gomez played for Everton. João Gomez. Atletico Madrid have agreed £39 million for him. He was a Premier League player last year, so. But if he's going for 40 mil and Wolves are getting 40 mil to spend in the Championship, I think Hackney is 35 at least. He's 30 bare minimum, I'd say. If he was 20 at the start of last season, I see he's 30 this season. And 30 million in the Championship is also a lot to work with. Quite frankly, he could be the only player we sell, and that's good enough to fund a transfer window. Obviously, we'll sell other players because they're bad, rather than Hackney because he's good. and we'll get fees for them. But Hackney going 30 million at least would obviously fund a very good transfer window for Borough. And it would get in whoever Hellberg needs and whoever Hellberg wants to get us up next season. But I think 35 million for Hackney. I don't think that's being too ridiculous, quite frankly. If he was 20 last season, he's 30 this season minimum. Riley McGree, I think he stays. Obviously, Sean, people think he's our best player, and I'm not saying you're wrong. He is a very good player. And I think, I'm not sure how old he is. I think he's 26, 27, maybe 28 even, but I think he's 27, give or take a year. I think better teams, obviously he's not going to downgrade or side grade for that matter. I think teams above us wouldn't want him for his injury record, I think he went off. Did he go off injured against Hull? I'm not sure, but yeah, I think he stays, and I'm happy. He's a very good player. He's one we'll be taking up next season. Alex Gilbert. We will never forget Hull away. But since then, he had one very good game. Played in a new position. I've seen sort of like an 8, I guess. And since then, just hasn't been good enough. And he's had more than enough chances this season. As he's been played in that midfield. He's had more than enough chances to stake his claim, and that whole game is the only match where he did. So he's been out on loan and whatnot. I think we sell in with cash in on Alex Gilbert. I don't know how much that would be. Probably. I mean, he's played for a team that got to the playoff final. Played consistently. I want to get the stats up here actually. Let me go on transfer market. Middlesbrough. Not sure how many games he has played, but squad stats. Alex Gilbert has played. Where is he? I lost him. Hang on, bear with me. He's played 22 games this season. And so 22 games for a team that got to the playoff final, I think is enough to bump his, I'd say maybe 2 million or less. Maybe that's pushing it, but yeah, I think the fact he played semi-consistently for a team that got to the playoff final means he's worth something, but not a lot. Alan Brown's another interesting one. He's not our player, he's loaned in from Sunderland. And at the start of the season, he was good. People were saying he's consistently good. He'll give you a 7 out of 10 every game. And since then, he's not given us above a 7 out of 10. So quite frankly, I would be against signing Alan Brown permanently as the loan spot. That loan spot could probably be used more, be used better next season. Had his moment, popped up with a few important goals for us. But yeah, I just think the second half of the season he hasn't really done enough to warrant a permanent move to the club, which is a shame. But yeah, you've got to be ruthless, I think. Ian Morris has to he's build the team around him, quite frankly, next season. What a fantastic player. Such a leader. People saying making him captain, I do agree. Then again, I want to keep it Dale. Dale should be him and Morris joint captain. Like Bill there as well, maybe. But yeah, Ian Morris, such good leadership qualities, but along with that, also fantastic footballer. He gives 548%. I've just made that number up. But that's what he gives. He doesn't stop running. He's fantastic. I saw a Hull fans. Genuinely the first bit of shit I've seen from Hull fans, because I didn't really look at Twitter after the game, but all the shit we got was from Southampton fans, and it was like, why are you talking? You cheated. You got rightfully kicked out because you broke the rules. And the whole fans were being nothing but respectful. Walked past them at the service stop and was chatting with them, and it was fine. But one Hull fan I saw was like, oh, he's got half as much assists as our left back, and he's a fat bastard. I was like, well, first of all, that's not relevant, is it? But yeah, you see, he's yet to score in a Borough shirt, but that's not his job. So is Solberg, hey? So is John McLaughlin. But yeah, build a team around him. I'm not sure how much he'd be worth. Maybe like 15. But again, quite frankly, we don't need to sell if we're getting 30 mil for Hackney and like 1 or 2 mil here and there for fringe players. So yeah, keep Ian Morris, build a team around him. Yeah. Next up is Leo Castledine, and I think we signed him in January. Finn Munro was from Aston Villa. Castledine was from Chelsea. My bad. He smashed it on loan at Huddersfield earlier on in the season, and I think he's just about good enough, just about staked his claim to be part of the squad, if that's what Hellberg wants to do. I'd be fine with him being loaned out to play more games, but I think he is good enough to play a part in the senior squad this season. He popped up with a couple of, I don't know about a couple, but at least one big goal, didn't he? But he's a good player. I want to keep him. Castledine. Yeah, only the one goal for Castledine this season, but it was a winner, wasn't it? Yeah. Keep him and maybe loan him out in January if he's not playing enough or not good enough. But yeah, I think keeping Castledine. Law McCabe, again, I think is a good player. Was loaned out to Plymouth first half of last season when they weren't doing well and didn't play. It just didn't work out from there, and obviously we couldn't loan him out again this season because he'd already played for us in the league or the cup or something like that, so we just didn't play for the second half of the season. Loan him out again. I think he's still young enough to be able to do that. There's definitely a player in there with Law McCabe. I'm very excited to see what he can do. But yeah, I just don't think he's just there yet at the level ready for the first team, but yeah. Now the forwards is the interesting section. Tommy Conway is the first one, and possibly the most polarising player in the Borough fan base on Twitter this season. Personally, I'm a big fan. I think, and I didn't say this on Twitter because I was scared I was just going to get shit from it, but I've seen a couple of other people say it as well. Say it quietly. The Conway winger experiment's kind of worked. You see, people say he's not great at finishing. He doesn't need to be on the wing. I think his dribbling's good. He's good. He'll take on the man. He's good, and his passing's good enough to be on the wing as well, and he's quick. And obviously, you need stamina to go on the wing, and that's probably Conway's best attribute, is stamina. Played fucking 87 games this season or something. So I think whether Hellberg wants to put him at striker next season or keep him as a winger or whatever, just as a fluid attacker, I think he will play a big part next season. He'll find his shooting boots, and yeah. Next one, Morgan Whittaker. Again, one of the most polarising figures in the Middlesbrough fan base, because obviously finished as our top scorer. I'm not sure what position in the league's top scorer. AFL Championship top scorers. He finished 7th. Actually, Conway only finished 1 goal behind, mind you. He finished 7th in the league on 14. But I think he's the same case as Finn Azaz, where yes, he gets the numbers, but is his actual performance on the pitch good enough? And most of the time this season it hasn't been. And it pains me because when he was going through a dry patch, obviously we signed him a year and a half ago, and he didn't score until October. We signed him in January 2025. He didn't score until October. And I was thinking that whole time, I'm thinking, there's a player in there. He was putting up these numbers for Plymouth in the same league. He'll come good. Then he had that scoring streak for like 7 or 8 games in a row. I can't remember how long it was. And I was like, finally, he has come good. He's scoring the goals. But actually being there and watching his performances on the pitch, they're just not good enough. I respect what he does. When he has the ball, he tries to make something happen. Again, the same as Finn Azaz, trying to make something happen, being creative, taking risks, which I appreciate. It's I think probably one of the hardest jobs in football, purely based on the flack you get from the fans if you aren't able to pull the risks off. But it hasn't worked out off the ball. He's not good enough. And again, I love the bloke. I hope he does come good, but quite frankly, I think it's a Finn Azaz situation. I think it's going to be. I think we sell him in the summer. It'll be a decent chunk of money. Maybe not the 15 million we got for Azaz, but I still think like a good 7, 8, maybe more million from, I don't know, low. Because obviously we sold Finn Azaz to a championship rival, so maybe like, I don't know, Burnley or something, or Wolves. Yeah, and we reinvest that, but then again, we don't need to if we're getting Hackney's going, and we're going to get 30 mil from him. So we don't need the money after Hackney, but obviously if we can improve on Morgan Whittaker, we should. And maybe if he's happy to be... one thing I said about Callum Britton as well, which could be for Whittaker, we sign another good right winger and we give Whittaker competition and we see if that fires him up. And if it doesn't, we get rid. And if it does, fantastic. We've got him back on form again, scoring goals. So I think that's our two options. I think we sign a winger regardless. And that means obviously we either give Whittaker competition or we sell Whittaker. Nice. David Strelitz. Again, I used the same argument for him that I used for Micah Hamilton. And that was, he scored in the Champions League. He scored in the Champions League, crying out loud. Should be able to do it in the Championship. I don't get me wrong, Strelitz is better than Hamilton. And I forgot Hamilton was I didn't even see him on this page. We'll get to him after Strelitz. But again, there's definitely a player in Strelitz. I'm happy if we keep him. If we're treating Conway as a winger, that's fine. We've got one striker in Strelitz. We can get another striker. Obviously, Strelitz can play sort of like second striker as well. If we got rid, if the rumours are true about him being homesick, I'd be fine with that. I think again we'd get maybe like 4 or 5 million for him. And again, same case as Whittaker in Britain. Competition. We sign another striker regardless. And if it pushes Strelitz to do better, good. He's back in the goals. If it doesn't, we sell him. Yeah, again, I sort of feel the way about Strelitz that I did about Whittaker 1 year ago. I know there's a player in there. He'll come good. Obviously, we talked about Micah Hamilton. I think he can start Teesside Uni in September. I think, quite frankly, he's just not been good enough. Not been good enough when he's went out on loan. Not been good enough when he's played for us. Can't remember the last time he played for us. I'm going to find out on Transfermarkt. He played 5 games for us this season. Can I find out when those games were? He had 1 minute against QPR back in... Oh no, that's... His last game for us, he got 1 minute against Southampton when we beat them 4-0 in January. That was his last minute for the club. Just hasn't featured in a squad since. And when he has played, I don't think he's been good enough. I was hoping, obviously after Edwards, and it was mainly actually Edwards that did the work for Silvera. After Silvera's reinvention, I was like, oh, maybe we'll get Hamilton a reinvention as well. Might be a brilliant centre back or something like that. But no, it just didn't happen for him, and just get what we can from him. I don't think another loan's really the next move. I think we should get what we can from him and free up his space in the squad. Again, like I said, I was hopeful when he came in because he scored in the Champions League for Manchester City, and he's still young. He's going to be class, and he just hasn't been. So, yeah. Kali Sen is a footballer, apparently. He's scored a couple of goals for us this season. Again, some important ones as well, I think. If I look here. Transfer market. His last goal came... Okay, he scored 2 goals. And they were in back-to-back games in September. And there's a 2-1 win over West Brom and a 1-1 draw away at Southampton. And it was that chance... Was it against Sheffield Wednesday? Where I just turned the game off. It was against Sheffield Wednesday. Because I was around my mates, I was watching it on my phone. Yeah, he's from the school of Liam Delap and other players that are just funny to watch if you're a neutral and painful to watch if you're a fan. Just get what we can from and bring in a new striker. Sonia Hansen. I would be happy to keep him, quite frankly. I think since Hellberg sort of was like, go on, have a go, and he actually did all right. He's been all right. If I have a look. He's played 5 times this calendar year and more than 25 minutes twice. He has the 1 goal contribution, which was the winner against Preston, I believe. No, the equaliser against Preston in September. A good player, I will say. I hope he has a good World Cup with Curaçao. Comes back and shows Hellberg why he should be playing in the team. Because he's skillful, he's direct, he's a good dribbler. I think his playmaking needs a bit of work, because I saw that against, I can't remember who, but a few passes were wayward, but I think, quite frankly, he just needs more game time. But I don't think because his old club have just qualified for the Champions League in the Netherlands, so I don't think he's at Middlesbrough to get loaned out to a League One team. And I think, quite frankly, him and David Strelets probably don't want to be here. But if he's willing to stay, I would give him a chance. Apparently Hellberg needs wingers for his preferred style of player, so we've got Conway and Hansen, maybe. Obviously, we're trying more players to fit Hellberg's style of player, but I'd be happy with keeping Hansen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to be off. And I think if he has a good World Cup, we could get a few quid for him. But yeah, he just needs to play, I think, but I don't think we'd send him out on loan. So it's a weird situation with Hansen. Sarmiento as well. He's loaned in, but I think we've agreed to sign him permanently, which is fantastic. It's sort of a buy before you try scenario, isn't it? But yeah, I think I was excited when he came in because he's a player I've heard of. Hasn't really set the championship alight, but he's been given more of a chance than Hansen, and I think Hansen's performed better. So, but I don't think we're going to loan him straight back out after signing him. So I think genuinely we're just going to be stuck with Sarmiento. So I think his only option is to again stake his claim, show Hellberg if he should be starting. I think that's really his only option because we're not going to loan him out after just signing him. and we're not going to sell him after just signing him. So his only option is to play and show Hellberg why he should be in the squad. And out of the players we have loaned out, Neto Borges, apparently Bristol City fans liked him, want him back. Yeah, sure, whatever. Give us a couple of quid for him. Marcus Forss, promoted with Bolton Wanderers, but I don't think he played too much of a big part with that. Let me just have a look. Marcus Forss starts current season. In League One, he hasn't played since the 10th of January. And he has 2 goals. He played in every match. Hang on, how many games was that? There's some matches hidden there, but he got 2 goals in 18 matches in League One this season. So if he's not really good enough for Bolton, then he's not going to be good enough for us. I like him. I, again, appreciate the service he's given the club, especially in that first season under Carrick. I think that was when he was at his best anyway, but again, I'm not sure if any of these players are out of contract, but if they aren't, get money for them. Dan Barlasser apparently done alright for Hibs, I think. So again, if they want to give us a couple of quid for him, be more than happy to. Not been good enough when he played for Borough. Passing's good, that's about it. Bergzorg is a tricky one. Apparently not wanted back by Bristol City fans. It's the opposite to Neto Borges. Obviously, Borough fans are saying, "Oh, we should have kept him. He would be best finisher at the club." Well, again, I don't think many Borough fans would want him going next season. So again, cash in for him. And finally, Alpha Kante is a bit of a weird one because he's still young. Actually, not. Apparently, Saint Etienne have a clause in the contract to buy him permanently. So that was just an absolute waste of a transfer. Thank you for your services, Alpha. How much did he play for us? How many appearances did Alpha Kante make for us this season? 5. He made 5 appearances for us in the league. No, 4, sorry. And the last one was Stoke on the 30th of September. So thank you for those 4 appearances. Can I see how many minutes? Abdullah Kante played 82 minutes for us. Thank you for your services. And probably I'd be happy to keep him. Apparently did well for Saint Etienne. Maybe loan him out again, but yeah. So players I'd keep. We're keeping Sarmiento anyway. I'd keep Hansen, sell Sen, deport Hamilton, keep Strelets, sell Whittaker, keep Conway, loan McCabe, keep Castledine, keep Morris. Don't sign Brown, sell Gilbert, keep McGree, sell Hackney, keep Melander, release Lenahan, deport Edmondson, see how he likes it. Sell Bangura, renew Silvera, loan Monroe, keep Ayling, renew Fry, keep Jones, sign Target, keep Britton, deport Dieng, deport Bryn, keep Wildsmith and McLaughlin. So we need a new starting goalkeeper. Yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable on these things, so you guys let me know down below who you would have to replace. New goalkeeper. There's 4 centre-backs there, but I'll probably get a 5th one, maybe. Because one of Jones, Fry and Ayling's got to be injured, aren't there, at some point. Definitely new left-back. Backup right-back as well for Britain. Probably 2 new left-backs, actually. Hackney replacement. Probably 2 or 3 midfielders for central midfield. You've seen McGree and Castledine, they're really attackers, aren't they? So 2 or 3 midfielders. See one of them being a Hackney replacement. And a striker and 2 or 3 wingers, I think. Let me know down below what you guys think. Is there anything you disagree with? Is there anything you agree with? Any hot takes? And anyone you would sign, let me know down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.